Hi there, Summoners. GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And tonight we are getting the next set of special heroes to drop into the game in just a couple of days. We got the silhouettes pulled up right here. I think I spy an Azura in there, and that could mean that we're getting a Fates, at least partial Fates seasonal banner. Now, the social media tweet did mention that thematically it's going to be the skies, right? It's not going to be the deserts. It's going to be the skies. So they are changing it up this year, which does mean that we're probably going to be getting a set of flyers, which is what I'm really mostly interested in looking at is, you know, if there's going to be any nice fodder for my Camillas in this batch. So, yeah, so let's see. Let's see what they've got ready for us to soar into the new year. Alrighty, well, I recorded my reaction and going through the characters and the art and the kits and everything, and then I realized that I didn't record audio. So we're stuck. Oh, so that's annoying. But at the very least, I can kind of go through my, I guess, general impressions of everything. I already know who the characters are, unfortunately. So as far as raw reactions go, that's out the window. But we do, of course, have Mia as the first up here as Zenith Challenger. You know, personally, I really like her art quite a bit, just from the vibrancy, the exuberance, the expressiveness, I think, in general, very clean. And I like the contrast between the vibrancy of her hair and her eyes with sort of the utilitarian elements of her outfit with the leather and the cotton outfit, the armor and everything. So I think they captured her really well, her spirited nature, and I think it just holds true to her, right? I like seeing Mia. I like seeing Mia in here as a sword flyer. Makes sense. She does come with her own unique weapon. I think most notably what I was interested in when going through these characters was identifying what, if any, fodder might exist for my Camillas, really. Because that's kind of where my headspace is at right now in Fire Emblem Heroes is, you know, if there's a particular character that I must go for, just based on the art and the design, and I like the character, then, you know, that obviously trumps everything. But otherwise, if I can afford to wait, I should wait, just because, you know, characters these days, just, it's not power creep, it's power sprint, right? So the game is just not suited to, you know, like going after particular. So the point being, if I'm going to invest in characters, it's because I'm going to build up and get fodder for my Camillas. Now, Blue Sky Gust is interesting because I think it is probably the most powerful, or most potent, most interesting skill that was introduced in this trailer and in this set of characters, in this banner. So as far as you know, flyer options are concerned, Blue Sky Gust is quite nice. It has that Kanto built in. It also has the fixed damage that's actually multiplied, so X times 4, based around the number of characters, number of allies within 3 rows and 3 columns. So that means you can get an upwards of 12, right? So you can get upwards of 12 fixed damage there, and then in addition, you can get 9 fixed damage reduction. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice in addition to the stat boost that you get. So anytime you get additional fixed damage, for me, I think in particular, some of the older Camillas would really love this skill in particular. For some of the new ones, like young Camilla, you know, she has dedicated A slot. I don't see this making a splash there, but I think in general it's definitely a nice new skill to see. Heavenly Soar is, again, it's not a new skill, but quite nice, once again, in the same vein. Null Uplift attack speed is actually, again, not a new skill, but one that I would like to get at some point, because that's a really powerful flyer skill that has fixed damage built into the C slot, true damage in there, and then otherwise has some nice effects in general that scale off of speed. So, I mean, I think would like to see it. It would be pretty nice getting it at some point to be able to, you know, extra copies to be able to fodder. Now, Azura, I do love me some Azura. So as far as, like, you know, she's probably the closest to pushing me into summoning on this banner. In addition to Hilda, I like Hilda a lot too. So I do like Azura quite a bit. I think my initial reaction, which again didn't get recorded, it looks a little awkward, like the art, just because at first glance the art felt a little awkward. It kind of felt like they copied and pasted Azura's head like onto a Pegasus Knight. The only reason I say that is because she still has her like dancer headdress, and her hair is billowing behind her, and she has that smile. So it's like nothing has changed from the neck up from what we would expect to see of Azura, but then like from the neck below, it's like nothing like Azura. Like it's all very, other than the ribbon and some of the color effects and things like that, it's otherwise like not typical, like not what you would typically see of Azura. So it just initially it felt a little awkward to see. I still think she still looks good. She still has that svelte dancer's physique, and she wears the Pegasus Knight outfit quite well. She's got the lance in tow with the ribbon. She looks good. But I initially I just thought it was kind of funny because it felt a little out of place, I suppose. But as far as Azura goes, so if we take a look at her kit here, so Songful Essence is, obviously a big, I think, selling point of her, in that she can dance or refresh from 2 spaces away, in addition to granting an additional movement space, all that good stuff. In terms of like new skills and new inheritables, the Speed Defense Crux Ploy is quite good. I feel like it is a little awkward just because it scales off of res, the ploy element to it. So you're going to want to put it on a character with higher res, but a melee high-res character. So I guess it does fit well with Pegasus Knights in general, just because, again, Pegasus Knights tend to have, not as a rule or anything, but oftentimes they do have higher res, and then they are melee characters because it does have the debuff to speed and defense as well built in there. So I think it fits quite nicely into that archetype that we can see right there. Now, Minerva's an interesting one, because Minerva is actually the demote, which was not what I was expecting, considering that... so here she is, and once again, I think the art's great. I mean, I talked about it when it didn't get recorded, but she's an axe unit, as we would expect. She has that, I think, graceful power behind her pose that really is alluring, and there is sort of that accented femininity throughout. So you have that as part of her, and she has that knowing confidence, the slight smirk across her face as she's kind of looking down, because she knows she's in control. So I do like that element. I think they did capture that very well for Minerva. And again, she's the 4-star focus unit of the banner, which means that she's going to be relatively easy to acquire, and she has her own unique weapon in addition to her own unique A-slot skills. So that ain't bad. As far as 4-star special units go, that's pretty darn good. She got some nice treatment there. I will say, from an inheritable perspective, I don't see a lot, I don't see much compelling to summon for that element in particular. Wyvern Rift is okay, but yeah, I think Minerva fans should be pleased with that, because she's going to be an easy +10, and then she's also going to have some nice dedicated skills to her. And then we do have Hilda and Florina here as the duo. Quite an unusual bedfellows, unusual pair, but it does kind of fall in line with the title of the banner, right? And the event, Cure for Shyness. I feel like that's if there's anybody to kind of coax out of the shell, Hilda is one of those characters, right? And makes her very compelling and very very likable, personable. I think also, just in general, in terms of the art, it's nice seeing them kind of stacked up together like this. I think what's particularly aesthetic about that is that they share kind of pastel colors. So like this kind of the general softness of the palette, I think, works really well with them together. Dressed as Pegasus Knights, always an alluring uniform. You can't deny that. And then, interestingly enough, Hilda wielding a bow, right? Which is a little unusual, a little unique, and I think, I don't know if she's taking cues from Claude. Claude does make an appearance in the demonstration, so I don't know if that's, and obviously Florina as well, right? So maybe that's the draw there, the reference there. But yeah, as far as a duo goes, I mean, again, Waning Shot is a new, I think, probably Archer specific skill that looks busted. That is 80% of the greater unit's speed or defense. 4 cooldown, of course, but these days we have so many ways of reducing cooldown, it's really nothing. I mean, characters are going to be able to take advantage of that pretty easily. And And then the penalty on the stat line as well. I was actually a little, I don't know if I want to say disappointed. When I first read attack speed, airspace, I was kind of expecting huge things. And then after I read it, I got a little disappointed. And now looking at it again, I think it's fine, actually. It's okay. It's actually pretty good. Enables Kanto, too. I keep going back and forth on it. Just the built-in Kanto is nice. That kind of fixed Kanto without any condition or anything else, it's attractive. Unit initiates combat within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed plus 10, and deals plus X damage. So the interesting thing here is that it's pretty generous in terms of the types of terrain that will activate the full effect of the fixed true damage of 12. Otherwise, the true damage is 7. And so it's not only where a Divine Vein is, or within 2 spaces of a Divine Vein, but also defensive terrain, in addition to impassable or difficult terrain for units other than flying units. So that's pretty generous. There's actually, in most situations, you can probably find a tile that'll suit those needs, and obviously certain team compositions will yield a Divine Vein exactly where you need it to be. So getting that 12 is not really difficult. Initially, I was a little underwhelmed by the 12 true damage, but it's fine. It's fine. And then restore 7 HP to unit after combat as well, which I lament that it's not restoring HP with each hit, which I think would be more attractive for this skill. But overall, it's fine. It's suitable. I think the reason why I was in particular disappointed is because I was kind of looking for a replacement skill for Camilla Emblem, and I don't know if this is really going to cut it. But and then Strat Assault 4, attack speed favor, yeah. So, and then we have their duo skill, or the harmonized skill, so grants Resonance Blades to unit and allies, and then inflicts Frozen Sheer Spoils Plus on closest foes, and any foe within 2 spaces of those foes. So a nice little AoE effect there as well. So, pretty nice, pretty nice. Cure for Shyness, once again. So, what I was going to say was I'm probably not going to be summoning on this banner. My focus at this point in Fire Emblem Heroes is mostly to summon for fodder that I think can really enhance my Camilla emblem, or if there's like a character that I kind of must have, or art or a design that I must have. As much of a Flier enthusiast and advocate that I am, I don't know if there's enough here to make me summon, especially since I'm saving up for for getting more copies of Christmas Camilla, right? Since that is kind of my priority for a merge project for this year. So that being said, I don't know if I can devote a lot of orbs to this one. But I do like the character selection. I mean, I like the characters that they chose. I like the designs that they went with, too, for the most part. Even with Azura initially being a little confusing to me. But I think overall, the banner looks good. And I like that it's Flier-centric, too. I kind of like that that's where they've transitioned from the desert into the skies. I think that's kind of cool. But let me know down below what you think about the banner, about the character selection, about the art, about the designs, the theming of the banner itself, and what you think about the kits. And are you going to be summoning? If you are going to be summoning, best of luck to you. I hope you get everybody that you're looking for super quick and all the copies that you need. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, let's protect those skies.